here with a lot of info today, a lot of pieces put together from various different parts of finance industry. Because I think it's important for us to look at the financial side entirely, because that is affecting the real estate in many different ways. Every piece of the puzzle affects in a smaller or a bigger way, and that's what I'm here for. And we'll talk about the transition. So all this information that we get from media, newspaper, social media, all sorts of things, how does that affect us in real estate? Because that's what matters. The implementation and how it affects us makes more of a difference than anything. So I'll go piece by piece. Stop me for any questions, because the information is quite rich. Also, as we speak, someone is creating a seminar summary, which CMHC lady promised and never gave us, but I've got something here that will have lots of links for you to follow. And from what I see is we have to work on self-learning, because a lot of questions are not answered yet. So anyways, myself, Faisal, that's April. She's one of the associates. When you get emails, she's usually the one that sends the emails out, and so on and so forth. 2019 mortgage update, ever-changing market. We don't have as many changes as we had in 2016, 2017, but those changes are affecting today, and I'll go piece by piece as to why, how, and so on and so forth. Some house rules, if you can turn off your mobile devices. It should not be more than an hour. I was told someone has to leave at 11, so I'll try and complete the information, and then we'll keep the questions, the majority of the questions at the end. But as we go through, if there is something, please stop me. We know where the drinks are, bathrooms, emergency exits. So first and foremost, let's go over some of the topics that I'm covering. So 2018 insights and findings. Priya, which is the board, forecast for 2019, CMHC market outlook. So a bit of a recap from last week. Interest rate forecast, where are the rates going? The reintroduction of 30 years amortization. Okay, and I see some smiling faces, but what does that say in dollar and cents, which is what is the more important part, and we'll go through that piece as well. So two big things about 2018 market insights, when prices were decently up there, not as low as today at least. Two different types of buyers we're sort of going through. Either it's a first-time buyer or repeat buyer. Now, this is all 2018 we're discussing. So we're looking at some history, we're looking at some present, and we'll look at some future. 49% of first-time buyers were millennials, 25 to 34, 80% employed, very little self-employed. Okay. 61 purchased a single detached home. 26% have household income of 60 to 90K. 22% are newcomers to Canada. What that translates is a lot of people have come to Canada, have bought homes, about 22% of the entire purchasing crowd. 60 to 90K, which means we are in average or above average income. 61 purchased single detached homes, which means condos were still selling, but the single detached still had its own place. That has changed, and we'll go through that aspect as well. 80% were employed, 3% self-employed. So most of them were employed. So it reflects as to what the job market was, and first-time buyers. Repeat buyers, 31%. 35 to 44. So 25 to 34 first-time buyers. As soon as you look at mid-30s age range, now people are thinking retirement, wealth accumulation, so on and so forth. 65% employed full-time, 7% employed self-employed. So as you go into your 30s, you're looking at self-employment options. Single detached home, again, 27% household income has gone up over 100. And 17% are newcomers. So in that age range, newcomers are not as much as the previous age range. So something to keep in mind. Mortgage features, buying costs, so on and so forth. 85% spend most of their time, while 65 to 68 of repeat buyers did. Most buyers are paying a mortgage loan only, a fixed rate, 5-year, 25-year amortization, pretty standard. 38% of repeat buyers do not have a monthly budget. What that means is you're looking at higher debt cost, credit card debts, other sources of debt accumulation. Nearly 3 out of 4 of first-time buyers and 61% of repeat buyers currently renovating or planning to renovate in the next 5 years. I believe I shared a story of my client who wants to keep, last week, who wants to keep their elderly and their child in the same home, and with all sorts of accommodation, pretty much using every resource possible to keep everyone in the same home to lower their housing cost. So that's one of the big aspects. So people are only switching homes if it's absolutely necessary. They're keeping for as long as possible. Why? They're looking at equity build-up, one, but they're also realizing that there is a cost from going from one to another. Mortgage penalty, real estate fees, closing costs, and the whole hassle of moving from one to another. So that is something people are realizing. Broker-client relationship, 86% of mortgages were done by mortgage brokers, either for best rate or file to complete. What that means is the box of the bank to fit a file has got much smaller. Lots of conditions, lots of things that don't fit typically with the bank. 68% of brokers agree they would use broker clients agree they would use the broker again. Among home buyers who received a recommendation to use a broker, 34% became with real estate agents. So realtors referred those files. 45% of broker clients would have liked more advice or information on interest rate and fees. So clients have need. The reason I posted that is clients have needs of questions of rate. Rate is one bit, but not just rate. They want a lot more questions answered. Can I transfer this mortgage? So I'm starting to get questions like, oh, I'm buying this condo, but my plan is to get into a house 3 years from now or 4 years from now. Can I port this mortgage? I'm having my parents co-sign my mortgage right now, and that's typical with millennials. Can I take them out 2 years later? Can I do this? Can I do this? They're looking for flexibility on the finance side without having to pay the penalty. Of course, it can be done at the cost of penalty, but they're looking to do things without having to pay the penalty. So cost, they're keeping cost in mind. 41% of broker clients felt concerned or uncertainty about buying a home at some point during the home buying process. And I'm sure you feel that too. Why am I not getting a yes yet? Why is the file not complete yet? Why are we asking documents 10 days before closing? I'm on 5th day of condition. Why do I not have an approval yet? There's multiple things. And And I'll go through piece by piece as to why. Why use a mortgage broker? You know that, I don't have to repeat it. The relationship is there, the communication is there, and the options are there. For instance, right now I've got a file, it's an assignment file, has gone to 16 lenders. 16 lenders have seen it. Some want to do 65, some want to do 70, some want to do 75, not 80. And we're only asking for 80, we're not asking for 10% down or 5% down. It's 20% down far. There's a challenge. Why? Because lenders have gotten a little tricky, but we'll get to it. There's always an answer. The answer will come at a cost. That's all. Clients know.
80 for how much loan?
Sorry?
If they say for how much loan?
It's an assignment, is the answer. It's not the 80%. 80%, any lender wants to do it. It's the assignment. Because what happens is, assignment is equity built up without having to own the property. Right? So that equity built up has to be justified. And it has to be documented, and so on and so forth. The Canadian Real Estate Association forecasting. So there's some forecast for 2019. Now that we've looked at 2018, certain things, now we're going into 2019 as to what the CREA, what CMHC and so on wants to say, interest rates. What do we see going forward? So forecasting national home sales to post double-digit declines in 2019. Okay. This is due to policies, rising rates, and limited access of financing that affects the buyers. What I mean by that is, let me take this back to 2017. We had 30 years amortization. We had contract rates on 5-year fixed. We don't have that option anymore, which means we're using qualifying rate and 25 years amortization at 5%, 10%, 15% down. Even at 20% down, we have actually only 2 lenders that will use the contract rate, and they have upped their rates to begin with. So that's on the A side. On the B side, FISCO has mandated that they still have to use plus 2%. So B side rates start at 499. You add 2%, that's 699. It becomes a lot more challenging to get approved on the B side. So those are certain policies that are hindering from approvals. The national average price is projected to ease 488. Now that number was 500.
Why is more challenging?
Because they were never asked to have 2% above the rate as a qualifying rate, and they are asked by this one. So this number was in 500, and this is now down by 4.2%. Has come down to 488,600. What that means is GTA has seen some significant price changes, price reductions, but it's not just GTA, it's all parts of the country. In fact, there are some parts of the country where getting financing is even, like, it's only private. Well and septic is starting to be that popular. National sales forecast to remain little changed in 2019. So late 2018, huge corrections were done, but throughout the 2018, but 2018 end, we saw a lot, and that does not seem to be changing. We're not expecting it to go up too much. There will be some struggle between buyers and sellers because inventory is limited. Buyers are still there, but buyers are not willing to pay more than the asking. So you'll see very fewer multiple offers. You will be able to get offers with 5-day conditions. sellers are now starting to accept that the prices have changed. But if you're listing, you will still see some struggle because the neighbor sold it 2 years ago for 200,000 more. Why can't I? Why not I? Now, I've had this question bring up by a couple of realtors as to how do you handle it. I'm not a realtor, so my advice really doesn't count. But if I was you, I would start with what kind is of.
Can you speak louder?
Can you guys hear me or no?
I'm not
It's okay. So I've been asked this question as to, I have a listing coming up, they want to sell, they want to buy. Okay, it's a full transaction. And the realtor said, what do I do in this case? Because they want 100,000 more than what I really should be listing it. Now my answer there was start with what the client wants. Because the client has to be walked through the process, and it's happening on my side too. They come to me with, oh, my cousin has a rate of 2.99, 5-year fixed. Why can't you do that? We start with the rate we have and see what we can do the best we can. So we are having some financing challenges in terms of rates, not in terms of contracts. So you will also see some struggle on the listing side. Buying side, I don't see that as a struggle. But on the buying side, now you've got limited inventory and a lot more work to put in. So that's what I'm starting to see. CMHC did some forecast on Canadian metro areas. Vancouver doesn't matter, Calgary, Montreal doesn't matter. It's just the GTA. Balanced condition with moderate sales growth and home prices in line with inflation. Rising home ownership costs are expected to feed a strong rental market. Rental market is already strong. I saw a 2-bedroom apartment listed at Birchmount and Lawrence, $2,100 fully renovated. 2-bedroom, $2,100. That to me sounds way above average if I'm looking at it from my rental days. But that seems to be the average. So rental market has changed, and that gives client the option, well, at least the idea, why can't I buy? Because my monthly payments on the mortgage will be closer to what I'm paying in rent. But then comes the question of credit, income, and down payment. Interest rate forecast. Big banks have done some studies, and I don't fully like their studies because their studies are very much towards their benefit. So I'm using some of the independent studies here. HSBC kicked off March, heading towards 299 5-year fixed. It's the first time since 2018 that Canadians have seen the best 5-year rate in 2 years. Now, that comes with a